Welcome to Club Wealth TV. We're talking about how to not just survive, but how to thrive in a post-settlement environment. What in the heck does that mean? That's a mouthful. Essentially what it means is recently, as most of you know, there was a massive settlement in the wake of the lawsuits against real estate agents regarding commission sharing and more. And we're going to go deep into the history of that. We're going to go deep into what's going on with it right now. And we're going to go even deeper into exactly how do we thrive in the coming years, particularly in 2025, right? Because here we are, we're coming into 2025. We need to get your business kickstarted right now. We need to get you making more money right now. We're going to show you how to do that. And today I have with me, I've got Mike Bernier, who, as you guys, most of you know Mike already. He's one of our coaches here at Club Wealth. He also owns a brokerage in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and actually they're in Minnesota and in Florida called RG or Realty Group. They're about 1,000 agents strong, just shy of 1,000 agents strong at RG. Mike's a brilliant guy, knows a ton about this. And then we've got James Dwiggin with us. And James is the CEO of Next Home. And let me tell you something, 630 offices. Yeah, you heard me right, 630 offices. And here's the deal. While most people, and I won't name names, but while most people were sending their attorneys to these hearings to be involved and to help out with the process and figure out what's going on and how to deal with it, James himself was going. James himself was in the mix, in the fray, figuring out, hey, what's going on with this? How exactly do we need to respond to this? What are they really after? And I'm excited. I personally think that there's probably nobody better on this planet to really help us understand this topic than Mr. James Dwiggins. And so that being said, James, Mike, welcome. Appreciate you guys being on today. Super excited. And I'm just going to allow you guys to just roll real quick here and introduce yourselves and share any thoughts you have before we get started.
Mike, you want to go first?
Sure. So as Michael said, I'm a coach here at Club Wealth. I'm a brokerage owner. I met James just sort of on the travel circuit. James has done a lot of speaking. What really got me interested was how involved in the suit, like we were all involved in the suit as brokerage owners, or we should have been, in following it and trying to, navigate it. But the fact that James was, right in the back rooms with the, all the players involved with this. I mean, he had conversations with the DOJ. He had conversations with Ketchmark, the lead attorney for the plaintiff sits for more case. And I'll let him tell his story a little bit more of that. But very, very few people on this planet have as much firsthand knowledge of this subject as James does. So I'm excited to be here with you, James, and can't wait to get into this topic.
Thank you. I'm not the expert, but I've definitely educated myself on it. For those of you that haven't, sort of been following what's been going on, I am a named defendant in the case. We have settled. That has hit the headlines. And certainly since the beginning, to give a shout out to my friend Rob Hahn, who was, years ago saying these cases were a serious threat. As I started to investigate, these lawsuits, I looked at them and was like, this is a big problem. And I think just a little background on me, and then we can dive into more important stuff. I have been in the business literally my entire life. I'm third generation. So my grandfather started his company in 1967. Both my grandparents were brokers. Both my parents were brokers. So I am a SOB. I'm a son of a broker. And I've been in the business every year of my existence on this planet. And then, unfortunately, the past 2 years involved with litigation. So I will be able to give a lot of insight on these things that you won't typically hear. My approach is I'd rather just share the information with you and help you understand what you need to be doing. And more importantly, which we'll talk about today to some degree or another, is how to stay out of further litigation by doing business practices that are not going to invite more class action, lawsuits against you or the industry. So turn it back to you,
I'm
Mike.
really glad to hear that, because frankly, I think there's a lot of people out there. And I'll tell you, when I say a lot of people, I think a ton of agents, I think a ton of companies, and even some states are taking the wrong approach on this.
They are.
Yeah, it scares me to death. And I feel like, and when I say it scares me to death, it scares me for them. Right. I feel like there's a clear path out of this. There's a clear path forward, but we need to take that path, and we need to stop trying to find ways to circumvent what is being told. And we need to, and what's being litigated and what's being legislated against the real estate industry. And instead, what we need to do is we need to just say, look, okay, this is going to be our new reality. How do we succeed best with the new reality instead of trying to change the reality?
I agree. And the ironic part is, if you understand, which we'll get through some of this today, this isn't that complicated.
No.
Everyone's making this so much more complicated than it needs to be. And if you just like shift your mind, and for everybody that's watching and listening, just be open-minded to the things we're going to talk about. There are some slight shifts, but the irony is I already moved 6,000 of our people to this new model long before the settlement was even enacted. And I can tell you that it's not a big deal. Ironically, the only issues that our company has is everybody else who isn't educated on the process. So it's not, this shifting of process isn't complicated. You just need to understand how to move it. And I will say this one comment, and then I'll shut up. The next round of litigation isn't just going to be brokerages.
Yeah.
It will be agents and teams and people who are not following rules that they'll go after next, because they've already got all the money from the companies. All the agents hold all the rest of the capital. So just be mindful that it's not like you're insulated from further litigation. So
yeah, I'm glad.
Actually, I would say I'd take that a step further. I'd take that a step further. It's not that we're just not insulated. I'm worried. I think we've talked about this too. They're probably gearing up for the next round. This isn't like this might happen. There's good indication that this is not over. And I think one thing that we don't talk enough about is how emotional agents have been over this. People have been in the business a long time, and because there's some shifts and there's some things that happened in language used during the case that offended people, straight offended agents. Emotionally, they just don't want to shift. They want to act like nothing changed or nothing happened. And I think that's a very big problem.
Agreed.
Well, and here's the deal. At the end of the day, the focus shouldn't be on how upset we are about what's happened and now all of a sudden we have to change and blah, blah, blah. Look, the reality is where there's chaos, there's opportunity. And this is just another great opportunity for real estate agents. Look, the real estate industry is not going away. All right. And I think that it's important for agents to understand that you don't need to be in fear of, oh my gosh, the industry's going away and what am I going to do and how am I going to survive? Instead, you just need to get educated, do the things the right way. And when you do the things the right way, you'll be among the few that are fairly, I'm not going to say entirely, but I will say fairly insulated from any potential downside from this. And instead, we'll have great upside potential, because guess what? There's going to be fewer agents out there, not just as a result of this. You've also got the new TCPA stuff coming in. That's another big deal. That has the potential to be even bigger than the NAR lawsuit. Or maybe not so bad, right? But at the end of the day, again, this all presents opportunities. Club Wealth is the only coaching company on the planet that will literally guarantee that you will double your income or make at least an extra $100,000 your first year coaching with us, or we will give you 100% of your investment back. Click the link below, sign up for the appropriate tier level, and let's get you a strategy session today. And I promise you, I 100% guarantee you, promise you that you will walk away with a heart full of gratitude for the time that we took for you, because you got so much value out of that call. Schedule your strategy session today. I promise you'll be glad you did.